Well, let's now cut across to our colleague Nisha Poda, who's in conversation with A. Balasubramanian, the MD and CEO of Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC. Remember, this mutual fund has the highest exposure to SL Group, so the resolution will be seen very positively for the mutual fund as well as its various stakeholders. Nisha, over to you.
Thanks for that, Reema. Yes, as you rightly said, it's going to be a big beneficiary, and that's why the parent company of this mutual fund, Aditya Birla Capital, is revving up in trade today. So I have with us the CEO of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Bala, so good to have you on CNBC TV18. Many congratulations on this particular recovery, but I'm sure this has been a trying time for you, an arduous task to patiently wait and also show support for the promoters of the company to get the recovery of your loan. How much did you pay and how much are you now recovering, and is it coming in full?
Yeah, I think it's interesting journey of last 9 months since the time this issue happened sometime in the month of January.
Right.
I think since then we were trying to find a resolution for the whole the exposure that we had. I think clearly is something which we realized that the waiting, of course, has paid off.
Yes.
On 2 counts. One, of course, we got back the full amount that was outstanding.
Yes.
And whatever interest that was accrued to that also got fully received.
Right.
And that's something which I think is an outcome that we have seen.
Right.
The total exposure that we had, original exposure, was roughly about 1,500 crores.
Right.
Which is fully backed against Z shares.
Yes.
And all of them have come back along with interest that is accrued to that.
Right. So in total, how much are you getting out of this transaction, Bala?
So on today's transaction, so what has been reported,
yes,
I think close to about 835 crores of outstanding that I think we'll get out of that.
And is this only on account of the Z shares in total, or you have other group exposures?
Yeah, I think the total exposure that we had with SL Group across all our credit funds.
Yes.
Also, one must note that we as a fund house have been promoting alternate products.
Yes.
Such as credit funds, where we have been investing actually in instruments which are less than AAA.
Yes.
And we build a capability for underwriting such kind of credit for quite some time. Therefore, our assets ratio are pretty big. The exposure that we have taken to the SL Group was one to the loan against shares to the promoters.
Yes.
As well as the road assets which has got toll receivables over a period of time.
Right.
And then it gets some kind of equity valuation out of that.
Right.
And that exposure is, of course, still remains.
Yes.
But I think the larger exposure, which is loan against shares exposure, that gets reduced to 0 now.
All right. And when it comes to now the outstanding exposure to the group, how much is it on account of the road assets that you mentioned?
Yeah, currently outstanding is roughly about 750 crores. That's again, there is a pledge of the road assets. It is a pledge to us.
Yes.
And as actually we are able to actually find a resolution for that.
Yes.
One, jointly working with the management as well as finding the right buyer for those assets. I'm sure that also will get resolved. I think what is one of the biggest learning is that I think once you are underwriting,
yes,
is very, very strong on your process.
Yes.
Though you may go through some kind of time period in the interim period of volatility of market, when markets are extreme volatility,
yes,
when we are witnessing,
yes,
then naturally you're bound to have a lot of question marks, naturally you're bound to have a lot of anxiety as to how things will shape up.
Yes.
I think this one scenario where a lot of the lenders came together,
yes,
and then looked at one way of finding a solution,
yes,
and that's something I think finally we are seeing that benefit coming in. So therefore there are different ways in which we can handle the situation as long as we are able to actually establish that underwriting actually nothing has gone wrong, except I think the market timing has been...
I totally agree. I think Birla Mutual Fund, HDFC as well as Kotak have had different ways of coping with this particular issue when it comes to Z Entertainment. But tell me, in total 1,650 crore rupees which you have recovered on account of the pledged shares to the promoters of Z Entertainment so far?
Yes.
That includes your original principal payment with a 10.5% interest.
Of interest payment. Whatever outstanding is, now is fully recovered actually.
So Bala, if you really analyze this situation, you have got your 10.5% returns, but sans any upside to the stock price which you may have got in an otherwise situation.
So while of course there was while we did the whole agreement that we had at the point of time of agreeing for giving a longer period of time for the promoter to sell.
Yes.
That time the assumption was we'll be able to extract the price of roughly about, they will be able to sell at the price of say 550 and 400 plus and above,
yes,
which has not happened. Therefore, whatever assumption we made that we'll get in participation to the upside,
yes,
that has not been, that has not turned out to be true for us, given the fact that the management has realized The first time they realized a price of 400 rupees.
Yes.
Second time they realized about 300 rupees. So effectively they realized about 350 rupees. Therefore there is no major upside.
Right.
That is left for the lenders actually get some more of profit share out of that.
All right, but you've recovered everything that you accounted for.
Exactly.
How confident are you of also recovering the rest of the exposure you have to the SL Group now after this transaction?
So reasonably confident. Of course, as a money manager, you have to be confident first of all in every recovery process. That's my first fundamental principle. And second is one has to, if your underwriting is very, very strong, then it's only the question of time. It's not the question of whether the money comes or not.
Right.
And third, of course, we have to also ensure that we take all the right steps in a manner that actually helps us recover whatever the maximum possible we can get.
Right.
But any recovery process, I always don't assume 100% will get back.
Yes.
You assume certain amount will get back, but work towards ensuring that we get 100% of the money coming back.
Is there any commitment of a time?
Okay, that is Aditya Birla Sun Life. They've recovered the entire amount from SL Group to the tune of 1650 crore, which includes 1500 crore of a principal payment plus a 10.5% interest from today's transaction of 4,500 crore rupees. Aditya Birla Group, this AMC, this fund gets about 835 crore. They still have an outstanding, but that is road projects of the promoter group, and that is to the tune of 750 crore. But purely on account of Z Entertainment and this 9-month-long saga, this mutual fund has managed to recover the entire amount. Remember, they had one of the highest exposures amongst the others. We'll keep playing you snippets from that interesting conversation. For now, need to get into a break. On the other side, we'll get you more in the markets as well as individual stocks.